Have you ever paused to notice the subtle dance of change around you? The way sunlight shifts across your room as the day progresses, or how the leaves on trees transform from vibrant green to rich amber with each passing season. These small, everyday transformations hold a profound truth about our existence, the law of impermanence. In this journey of life, we often find ourselves grasping for stability, yearning for things to remain as they are. We cling to moments of joy, wishing they could last forever, and we resist the inevitable changes that time brings. But what if I told you that embracing this constant flux could be the key to finding true peace and contentment? Close your eyes for a moment and picture a flowing river. Its waters never stay still, constantly moving, evolving, carving new paths through the landscape. This river is a perfect metaphor for the impermanent nature of our lives. Just as the water's journey is ever-changing, so too is our own experience in this world. Think about the people in your life, how they've grown, changed, and evolved over the years. The child who once needed your guidance now stands tall as an independent adult. The friend who shared your laughter in youth may now be on a different path. Even you, dear listener, are not the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. This constant state of flux extends beyond just our relationships and personal growth. It touches every aspect of our existence. The crisp apple you bit into this morning is already beginning its journey of decay. The words you speak dissipate into the air as soon as they leave your lips. Even our most cherished possessions will one day crumble to dust. But here's the beautiful paradox. It is precisely this impermanence that gives life its richness and depth. Imagine for a moment if everything remained static, frozen in time. If the sun never set, if flowers never wilted, if we never aged, would life still hold the same wonder and beauty? It is the fleeting nature of experiences that makes them precious. Consider the cherry blossoms in Japan, celebrated for their brief but breathtaking bloom. Their beauty is magnified by the knowledge that it will soon fade. We cherish these moments precisely because they are temporary, because we know we must seize them while we can. This understanding of impermanence isn't meant to instill fear or sadness. Rather, it's an invitation to live more fully in the present moment. When we truly grasp that nothing lasts forever, we can learn to appreciate the now with greater intensity and gratitude. Think about a time when you were completely immersed in the present, perhaps watching a stunning sunset, sharing a laugh with a loved one, or achieving a long-sought goal. In those moments, you weren't dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. You were fully alive, fully present. That is the gift that embracing impermanence can bring to our daily lives. But let's be honest, accepting change isn't always easy. We're hardwired to seek stability and predictability. The thought of losing what we love can be terrifying. Yet paradoxically, it is our resistance to change that often causes us the most suffering. When we cling too tightly to how things are, or how we think they should be, we set ourselves up for disappointment and heartache. We expend enormous energy trying to control the uncontrollable, to freeze time in its tracks. But life, in its wisdom, continues to flow regardless of our attempts to dam its currents. So how can we learn to dance with impermanence rather than fight against it? It begins with mindful observation. Take a moment right now to look around you. Notice the play of light and shadow, the subtle movements of air, the rise and fall of your own breath. All of these are in constant flux, yet there's a profound peace in simply observing without judgment. As you go about your day, try to bring this awareness to your experiences. When you enjoy a delicious meal, savor each bite, knowing it won't last forever. When you hug a loved one, feel the warmth of their embrace fully, understanding that this exact moment will never come again. This practice of mindful awareness doesn't mean we become detached or indifferent. On the contrary, it allows us to engage more deeply with life. When we're not frantically trying to hold on to things, we can appreciate them more fully while they're here. Consider how this perspective might change your approach to challenges and difficulties. When we remember that this too shall pass, we can find the strength to endure hardships with greater resilience. The knowledge that our pain is not permanent can be a beacon of hope in dark times. Embracing impermanence also opens us up to the possibilities of growth and renewal. Just as a forest fire clears the way for new life to emerge, the changes in our lives, even the painful ones, can create space for fresh beginnings and unexpected joys. Think of a time when a door closed in your life, a relationship ended, a job was lost, or a dream had to be abandoned. In that moment, it might have felt like the end of the world. But looking back now, can you see how that change, painful as it was, led to new opportunities and growth? This is the paradoxical gift of impermanence. It teaches us that loss and renewal are two sides of the same coin. By accepting that all things must pass, we open ourselves to the infinite potential of each new moment. As we conclude this reflection on impermanence, I invite you to carry this awareness with you into your daily life. Notice the small changes around you, the shifting of clouds, the gradual ripening of fruit, the subtle lines appearing on your own face in the mirror. Let these observations remind you of the precious, fleeting nature of each moment. Remember, the law of impermanence is not a cause for despair, but a call to live more fully, love more deeply, and embrace each experience with an open heart. For in this ever-changing flow of life, we find not just loss, but also infinite possibilities for growth, renewal, and joy. So the next time you find yourself resisting change or clinging to how things are, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this too shall pass. And in that passing lies the beauty and mystery of life itself. Embrace the flow, dance with the changes, and discover the freedom that comes from aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of existence. In this acceptance, you may find a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that flows like a river, ever-changing yet eternally present. And in that peace, you'll discover the true richness of a life lived in harmony with the law of impermanence. Picture this, a world where everything stays the same, where the people we love never leave, our successes never fade, and our youth never withers. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? But deep down, we all know it's just an illusion. Life is a river, constantly flowing and changing, and one of our greatest sources of suffering comes from trying to dam that river, to hold on to moments that were never meant to last forever. We cling to the familiar, to the comfortable. We build our lives around the idea that what we have now will always be there. But life has other plans. It moves, it shifts, it transforms. And when those changes come, we're left feeling lost, betrayed, and broken. But here's the truth. Impermanence isn't our enemy. It's our resistance to it that causes us pain. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. That's exactly how life works. The more desperately we try to hold on to things that can't last, the more we suffer when they inevitably change. Think about it. How many times have you been hurt because someone didn't live up to your expectations? How often have you felt devastated when success slipped away? Or felt the sting of seeing your youthful appearance fade in the mirror? These pains aren't caused by change itself. They're caused by our refusal to accept that change as a natural part of life. So, what's the solution? It's simple, but not always easy. We need to loosen our grip. We need to learn to hold life with open hands, not clenched fists. Now, this doesn't mean becoming detached or indifferent. It doesn't mean not caring or not trying. It means loving deeply, but without trying to possess. It means enjoying success, but not basing your entire self-worth on it. It means celebrating youth and beauty, while also accepting that time will transform them. When we let go of the illusion of permanence, something magical happens. We begin to live more freely. We are no longer paralyzed by the fear of loss, because we understand that change is not a tragedy. It's the natural rhythm of life. Think of it like waves in the ocean. They rise, they fall, they come, they go. Everything in life follows this pattern. And when we learn to ride these waves, instead of fighting against them, we find a profound sense of peace. Imagine loving someone fully, cherishing every moment with them, but also understanding that one day, they might not be there. It doesn't make the love any less real or valuable. In fact, it makes each moment more precious. Picture working hard and achieving success, savoring the fruits of your labor, but also knowing that success is not a permanent state. It frees you from the constant anxiety of trying to maintain a certain status and allows you to enjoy the journey. Envision appreciating your youth and vitality, taking care of your health and appearance, but also embracing the wisdom and grace that come with aging. It removes the fear of getting older and helps you find beauty in every stage of life. This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a daily choice to embrace life as it is, not as we wish it would stay. It's about finding joy in the present moment while being open to whatever the future might bring. Remember, letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making space for new experiences, new growth, new love. It's about living fully in the present, unburdened by the weight of trying to freeze time. As you move through your day, Notice where you're holding on to tightly. Is it to a relationship, a job, an idea of who you should be? Take a deep breath and imagine loosening your grip just a little. Feel the freedom that comes with it. Life is constantly inviting us to dance, but we can't dance if we're rigidly holding on to what was. We need to be flexible, to move with the music of life, as it changes tempo and tune. So, let's make a choice. Let's choose to embrace impermanence. Let's love fiercely, work passionately, and live fully, not in spite of life's changing nature, but because of it. Let's find beauty in the ephemeral, in the fleeting moments that make up our lives. Because when we let go of the illusion of permanence, we open ourselves up to the true magic of life. We become like leaves on a river, flowing with the current instead of fighting against it. And in that flow, we find a peace and joy that no amount of clinging could ever provide. This doesn't mean life will always be easy. Change can still be challenging. Loss can still hurt. But when we approach life with open hands and an open heart, we become more resilient. We bounce back faster. We find strength we never knew we had. And most importantly, we learn to appreciate the present moment for what it is, a gift, a beautiful, temporary gift that we get to unwrap and enjoy right now. So today, as you go about your life, try to notice the impermanence around you, the way the light changes throughout the day, the subtle shifts in your mood, the constant ebb and flow of your breath, and instead of resisting these changes, welcome them. Embrace them as signs that you're alive, that you're part of this grand, ever-changing tapestry of life. Remember, every ending is also a beginning. Every change brings new opportunities. Every loss makes space for something new to enter your life. As you practice letting go of the illusion of permanence, you might find that life becomes richer, more vibrant. You might discover a newfound appreciation for the small moments, knowing they won't last forever. You might find yourself loving more deeply, living more authentically, and facing challenges with greater courage. Because when we stop trying to make things permanent, we free ourselves to fully experience the beauty of now. We open ourselves up to the full spectrum of human experience, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the failures, the hellos and the goodbyes. And in doing so, we don't just survive life's changes, we thrive in them. We become like water, fluid and adaptable, able to take on any shape while still remaining true to our essence. So let's make a pact, right here, right now. Let's agree to loosen our grip on the illusion of permanence. Let's commit to embracing life's changes with grace and courage. Let's choose to dance with life, to flow with its rhythms, to celebrate its ever-changing nature. Because when we do, we don't just change our perspective, we change our lives. We transform our suffering into growth, our fear into adventure, our resistance into acceptance. And in that transformation, we find true freedom, we find peace. We find the ability to live fully, love deeply, and leave nothing unexpressed. So go forth with open hands and an open heart. Embrace the impermanence of life, and in doing so, discover the permanent joy that comes from fully embracing each fleeting moment. Picture this, a world where change isn't something to fear, but something to embrace. A world where the shifting sands of time reveal hidden treasures, and every ending is just a new beginning in disguise. This isn't some far-off fantasy. My friends, it's the world we live in right now, if only we have the courage to see it. When we stop fighting against the tide of impermanence, something truly magical happens. We begin to see beauty in change itself. Instead of mourning what fades away, we start to marvel at the incredible transformation unfolding before our eyes. It's like we've been given a pair of enchanted glasses, allowing us to see the world in a whole new light. Think about the autumn leaves for a moment. Remember how they start off as a sea of green, stretching as far as the eye can see. But as the days grow shorter and the air turns crisp, something remarkable occurs. Those same leaves begin to shift and change, painting the world in brilliant shades of red and gold. It's a breathtaking sight, isn't it? Now, here's the thing. We don't spend our time grieving for the green leaves of summer. We don't shake our fists at the sky, demanding that things stay the same forever. No, we celebrate the beauty of this change. We go on long walks to admire the colors. We take photos to capture the moment. We gather the fallen leaves and press them between the pages of books. We recognize this transformation for what it is, a natural, beautiful part of life's grand cycle. And you know what? Life offers us countless seasons just like this, each one with its own unique colors, textures, and lessons to teach us. Sometimes, these seasons are obvious. The carefree days of childhood, the passionate years of young adulthood, the steady rhythm of middle age, the quiet wisdom of our later years. But often, these seasons are more subtle, woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. Here's a truth that might sound scary at first, but I promise you, it's actually incredibly liberating. The end of a chapter is never the end of the story. It's simply the opening of a new one, filled with possibilities we can't even imagine yet. Think about it. A relationship might come to an end, leaving us feeling lost and alone. But in that space of solitude, we have the chance to rediscover ourselves, to nurture the parts of us that might have been neglected. We have the opportunity to forge deeper connections, not just with others, but with our own hearts and souls. Or maybe it's a career that changes. The job you thought you'd have forever suddenly disappears, or the passion that once drove you forward starts to fade. It's easy to feel scared, to wonder if you've somehow failed. But what if, instead of a setback, this is actually the universe nudging you towards something even better? What if this change is opening the door to opportunities you never even knew existed? Even aging, which so many of us fear, can bring unexpected gifts. Yes, our bodies might not move quite the way they used to. Our faces might show the lines of laughter and worry we've experienced over the years. But with those changes come other transformations, the growth of wisdom, the deepening of compassion, a different kind of beauty that radiates from within. When we truly open our hearts to impermanence, something incredible starts to happen. We begin to live with a sense of wonder that we might not have felt since we were children. Each sunrise feels like a precious gift, because we understand that this exact moment, with these exact colors painting the sky, will never repeat itself. Every smile we exchange with a stranger, every conversation we have with a loved one, every single moment of our lives becomes infinitely precious, precisely because it won't last forever. This awareness, my friends, has the power to transform our daily lives in ways we never thought possible. Instead of always looking back, clinging desperately to yesterday's memories, or anxiously reaching for some imagined perfect future, we learn to say something truly revolutionary. This is enough. This is beautiful. This moment, right here and now, matters. Imagine waking up each morning with that thought in your heart. Imagine carrying it with you as you go about your day, as you sip your morning coffee, as you tackle challenges at work, as you connect with the people around you. How different would your life feel if you approached each experience with that sense of presence and appreciation? And here's the most beautiful part of all. In that awareness, we don't find sadness or regret. We find something far more powerful: gratitude. Gratitude for the experiences we've had, for the people we've loved, for the lessons we've learned. Gratitude for the simple fact that we're here, right now, witnessing the ever-changing miracle of life. So the next time you feel that familiar fear of change creeping in, I want you to try something. Take a deep breath, and instead of resisting, open yourself up to the possibility that this change might be bringing you exactly what you need. Look for the beauty in the transformation, just like you would admire those autumn leaves. Remember, you are not a static being, frozen in time. You are a living, growing, evolving creature. Just like everything else in this magnificent universe, your story is still being written with every breath you take, every choice you make, every moment you fully inhabit. Embrace the changes, my friends. Dance with impermanence. Let it teach you, shape you, and show you the incredible beauty that exists in every fleeting moment. Because when you do, you'll discover a life more rich, more vibrant, and more meaningful than you ever thought possible. This is your journey. This is your transformation. And it is beautiful beyond measure. Imagine, for a moment, the gentle whisper of time passing through your fingers like grains of sand, each moment unique and precious, slipping away before we can fully grasp its beauty. This, my friends, is the dance of impermanence, a truth that many of us struggle to embrace. But what if I told you that this very impermanence, this constant change, is not just a fact of life, but a profound teacher? You see, impermanence isn't just about loss or endings. It's a gentle reminder, a wise old friend whispering in our ear, teaching us the art of gratitude. Why? Because when we truly understand that nothing lasts forever, we stop taking the precious gifts of life for granted. Think about the people you love, your partner, your children, your parents, your friends. If you believed they would be with you for eternity, would you cherish each moment as deeply? Would you listen as intently to their stories, or laugh as freely at their jokes? But when we realize that every conversation, every shared smile, every simple "I love you" is fleeting, oh, how differently we treat these moments. Suddenly, a casual dinner becomes a feast for the soul. A quick phone call transforms into a treasure trove of connection. We hold our loved ones closer, not out of fear, but out of a deep appreciation for the gift of their presence in our lives. We listen more deeply, savoring the unique cadence of their voice. We love more fully, understanding that each expression of affection is precious and unrepeatable. But it's not just about the big moments or the important people. Impermanence teaches us to find magic in the ordinary, to see the extraordinary in the everyday. That cup of coffee you're sipping right now, it's not just a caffeine boost. It's a moment of warmth and comfort that will never come again in exactly the same way. The sound of rain pattering against your window, it's nature's symphony, playing just for you, right here, right now. Think about a child's laughter echoing through your home. It's not just noise, it's pure joy made audible, a fleeting reminder of innocence and wonder. Or consider the gentle breeze caressing your face as you walk outside. It's not just moving air, it's the world reaching out to touch you, to remind you that you're alive and connected to everything around you. These are not small or insignificant moments, they are treasures, each one unique and valuable, and it's impermanence that gives them their true worth. Because we know they will not repeat exactly the same way again, we're inspired to pay attention, to be present, to truly experience life as it unfolds. When we live with this awareness, gratitude arises naturally. It's like a flower blooming in the garden of our consciousness. Instead of always rushing to the next thing, always wanting more, we pause, we take a deep breath, we look around and realize, truly realize, how much we already have. And this shift, my friends, this simple change in perspective, has the power to transform everything. Our relationships become warmer, infused with appreciation and genuine connection. Our days become richer, filled with moments of beauty and meaning that we might have otherwise overlooked. And our hearts become lighter, unburdened by the constant chase for more, and instead filled with thankfulness for what is. Imagine waking up each morning with this awareness. As you open your eyes, instead of immediately reaching for your phone or thinking about your to-do list, you take a moment to feel grateful. Grateful for the comfort of your bed, for the breath in your lungs, for the new day stretching out before you, full of possibilities. How different would your day be if it started from this place of appreciation? Or picture yourself in a moment of frustration, stuck in traffic perhaps, or dealing with a difficult coworker. But then you remember the lesson of impermanence. You realize that this moment too shall pass. And not only that, but hidden within this challenge might be a gift, a lesson, a chance for growth, or simply an opportunity to practice patience and kindness. How might this change your response to life's inevitable difficulties? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but isn't it sad to always be aware that things will end? And I understand that fear, but here's the beautiful paradox. When we embrace impermanence, when we truly accept that change is constant, we actually become more present, more alive, more able to enjoy life fully. It's like watching a beautiful sunset. We don't refuse to enjoy it because we know it will soon be over. On the contrary, its fleeting nature makes us appreciate it even more intensely. We drink in the colors, we marvel at the changing sky, we feel a sense of awe at being witness to such beauty. And when it's over, we don't despair, we feel grateful for having experienced it. So the next time you find yourself wishing life were different, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and remember this fundamental truth. Impermanence is what makes life precious. It's not something to fear or resist. It's a gift that can open our eyes to the wonder all around us. By embracing impermanence, we transform ordinary experiences into extraordinary gifts. That mundane commute becomes a chance to witness the world waking up. A routine chore becomes a meditation on the simple pleasures of having a home to care for. Even saying goodbye to a loved one can be infused with gratitude for the time you shared and the love that connects you. In this way, impermanence becomes our teacher, gently guiding us towards a life of greater awareness, deeper appreciation, and more authentic joy. It reminds us that each moment is a unique and precious gift, never to be repeated in exactly the same way. And in doing so, it invites us to live more fully, to love more deeply, and to find wonder in the everyday miracles that surround us. So I invite you, right now, to look around. What can you see, hear, feel, or experience that you might be taking for granted? How might embracing the impermanence of this moment help you appreciate it more fully? Take a deep breath, open your heart, and allow gratitude to flow. For in this moment, right here and now, you have the opportunity to truly live, to truly love, and to truly appreciate the extraordinary gift of being alive. Remember, my friends, life is not about holding on tightly to what we have. It's about opening our hands and our hearts to fully receive and appreciate what each moment offers. Impermanence is not our enemy, it's our ally in living a life of richness, depth, and genuine gratitude. So let's embrace it, learn from it, and allow it to transform our ordinary days into extraordinary adventures of the heart. Life is a journey filled with twists and turns, ups and downs, and unexpected detours. One of the greatest challenges we face along this winding path is our deep-seated desire to control everything around us. We yearn to shape our future, mold our relationships, and dictate our success. We even try to manipulate how others perceive us. But in this relentless pursuit of control, we often lose sight of a fundamental truth. Life is inherently unpredictable and imagine for a moment that you're standing on the shore of a vast ocean. The waves crash against the sand, each one unique and fleeting. You might be tempted to try and stop those waves, to hold back the tide with your bare hands. But no matter how hard you push, no matter how much you resist, the ocean continues its eternal dance. This is the essence of impermanence, a concept that teaches us a humbling lesson. We cannot control the ebb and flow of life any more than we can command the tides. Instead, we must learn to dance with it, to move in harmony with its rhythm. When we resist change, when we fight against the current of life, we create our own suffering. It's like trying to grasp a handful of sand on a windy beach. The tighter we squeeze, the faster it slips through our fingers. We cling desperately to what is already slipping away, or we anxiously chase after what has not yet arrived. In doing so, we miss the beauty of the present moment, the only time we truly have. But what if there was another way? What if, instead of fighting against the current, we learned to flow with it? This is where the power of letting go comes into play. It's not about giving up or becoming passive in the face of life's challenges. Rather, it's about recognizing that change is an integral part of existence, and that we have the innate strength to adapt and thrive amidst that change. Think of a mighty river carving its path through the landscape. You cannot stop its current or freeze its flow, but you can learn to swim with it, to navigate its rapids and eddies with skill and grace. You can find joy in the journey itself, rather than fixating on controlling its course. Life, like that river, will bring changes, some joyful, some painful, some completely unexpected. We cannot stop them from coming any more than we can halt the river's flow. But by loosening our grip on the need for control, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We open ourselves up to new possibilities, to growth and transformation. There's a beautiful paradox at play here. When we stop obsessing over control, when we release our white-knuckled grip on how things should be, we gain a different kind of power. It's the power to respond to life's challenges with calm and clarity. It's the wisdom to see opportunities where others see only obstacles. It's the courage to step into the unknown, trusting in our ability to adapt and flourish. Letting go doesn't mean we become passive observers in our own lives. It means we shift our focus from trying to control external circumstances to cultivating inner strength and resilience. We learn to bend like a willow in the wind, rather than standing rigid like an oak that may snap in the storm. Consider the practice of mindfulness, which teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we apply this principle to our need for control, we can start to notice when we're gripping too tightly. We can recognize the tension in our bodies, the anxiety in our minds, and consciously choose to release it. This process of letting go is not always easy. It requires patience, practice, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. But with each small act of surrender, we create more space in our lives for peace, joy, and genuine connection. Imagine you're planning an outdoor event, and you've spent weeks ensuring every detail is perfect. The day arrives, and with it comes an unexpected rainstorm. In the past, you might have raged against the weather, feeling frustrated and defeated. But now, having embraced the art of letting go, you see the rain as an opportunity. Perhaps you move the gathering indoors, creating an intimate atmosphere you hadn't anticipated. Or maybe you dance in the rain, laughing with your guests at the unpredictability of life. This is the freedom that comes from releasing our grip on control. We become more adaptable, more resilient, and ultimately, more alive. We learn to trust in our ability to handle whatever life throws our way, rather than exhausting ourselves trying to prevent the unpreventable. As we practice letting go, we may notice a shift in our relationships as well. When we're not constantly trying to control others or manipulate outcomes, we create space for authentic connections to flourish. We become better listeners, more empathetic partners, and more supportive friends. We allow others the freedom to be themselves, just as we grant ourselves that same freedom in our professional lives. Letting go of control can lead to increased creativity and innovation. When we're not bound by rigid expectations or fear of failure, we're more likely to take risks, think outside the box, and embrace new ideas. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history have come from moments of surrender, when inventors and artists let go of their preconceptions and allowed inspiration to flow freely. It's important to remember that letting go is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Life will continue to present us with challenges and changes. There will be times when we slip back into old patterns of trying to control everything. But with each conscious choice to release our grip, we strengthen our ability to flow with life, rather than fight against it. As we embrace this philosophy, we may find that our definition of success shifts. Instead of measuring our worth by how well we can control outcomes, we begin to value our ability to remain present, adaptable, and open-hearted in the face of change. We recognize that true power lies not in dominating our environment, but in cultivating inner peace and resilience. So, as you continue on your journey through life, remember the wisdom of impermanence. When you feel the urge to control rising within you, take a deep breath and imagine yourself standing by that mighty river. Feel the strength of its current, the beauty of its ever-changing flow, and then, with courage and trust, step into the water. Let it carry you forward, knowing that you have the strength to navigate whatever comes your way. In letting go of control, you open yourself to the full richness of life, its joys, its sorrows, its unexpected twists and turns. You free yourself to dance with the rhythm of existence, to find beauty in imperfection, and to discover the profound peace that comes from surrendering to the flow of life. Remember, you are not giving up your power. You are claiming a deeper, more authentic power. The power to embrace life in all its messy, beautiful, unpredictable glory. So loosen your grip, open your heart, and trust in the journey. The river of life is waiting to carry you to places you've never imagined, if only you have the courage to let go and flow. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, we're reminded of a profound truth. Endings are not our enemies, but rather the silent poets of our lives. When we hear the word ending, our hearts often sink, weighed down by thoughts of loss, sadness, or failure. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Imagine, for a moment, a world without endings. A world where the sun never sets, where songs never reach their final note, where stories continue on and on without resolution. Would we still find beauty in the eternal day? Would melodies still move us if they never reached their crescendo and faded away? There's a magic in the fleeting nature of moments that makes them truly breathtaking. Think about the last time you witnessed a sunset. The way the light danced across the clouds, the gradual shift from day to night, the sense of peace that washed over you as the world prepared for slumber. It's the very transience of that moment that makes it so captivating. We cherish it because we know it won't last forever. The same is true for the music that touches our souls. A beautiful song must come to an end for us to feel its full impact. It's in those final notes, as they linger in the air and in our hearts, that we often find the most profound emotion. The ending gives meaning to everything that came before it. But endings aren't just about beauty, they're about life itself. They're not the destruction of what we hold dear. They're the gentle turning of a page in the grand story of our existence. Without endings, there would be no space for new beginnings. Without goodbyes, we'd never know the joy of reunions. And without the knowledge of our own mortality, we might never feel the urgency to truly live, to make each moment count. Every ending, no matter how painful or unexpected, carries within it a hidden gift, the chance to start anew. When a relationship comes to a close, it's not just an end, it's an opportunity to learn about love, to discover our own resilience, and to deepen our self-respect. The final day at a job isn't just the end of a career chapter, it's the opening of a door to reinvention and new possibilities. Even the most difficult seasons of our lives, when they finally come to a close, leave us with wisdom we could never have gained otherwise. It's often in our darkest moments that we find our greatest strength, our deepest compassion, and our truest selves. When we learn to see endings not as punishments but as transformations, something remarkable happens. Our hearts grow lighter. The weight of fear that once held us back begins to lift. We stop dreading change and instead start to honor it, recognizing it as the catalyst for growth and renewal. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest. Behind you lies the path you've traveled, filled with memories both sweet and bitter. Ahead, the trees part to reveal a new trail, one you've never walked before. The ending of your journey through the familiar woods isn't a loss. It's an invitation to explore, to discover, to become. So the next time you face an ending in your life, whether it's big or small, take a moment to pause. Instead of focusing on what you're losing, ask yourself, what is this moment making space for in my life? Because often, it's in the closing of one door that we finally notice the window opening, letting in fresh air and new possibilities we never could have imagined. Endings teach us to appreciate the present moment, to hold our loved ones a little closer, to say the words we've been holding back. They remind us that life is precious and fleeting, and that every experience, whether joyful or challenging, is a gift. Consider the seasons. Winter's cold embrace eventually gives way to spring's gentle warmth. The blossoms of summer must fade for autumn's golden leaves to paint the world anew. Each ending is a promise of renewal, a whisper of hope for what's to come. In our lives, too, we move through seasons. The end of childhood brings the excitement of adolescence. The close of our school years opens the door to new adventures and responsibilities. Even as we age and our physical abilities change, we gain wisdom, perspective, and a deeper appreciation for life's simple pleasures. Endings also give us the courage to let go. They teach us that holding on too tightly to what was can prevent us from embracing what could be. Like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, we must leave behind our old forms to spread our wings and fly. There's a bittersweet beauty in farewells. They remind us of the depth of our connections, the impact others have had on our lives. A goodbye isn't just an end, it's a celebration of all that has been, and all that will be carried forward in our hearts. As we navigate the endings in our lives, we can choose to approach them with grace and gratitude. We can thank the experiences, the people, and the places that have shaped us, knowing that they've prepared us for whatever comes next. Remember, every story has its final chapter, but that doesn't diminish the beauty of the tale. It's the ending that gives meaning to the journey, that makes each twist and turn significant. Our lives are no different. Each ending is a brushstroke in the masterpiece of our existence, adding depth, texture, and richness to the overall picture. So let's embrace our endings, not with fear, but with open hearts. Let's see them as doorways, not dead ends. For in every sunset, there's the promise of a new dawn. In every goodbye, the seed of a new hello. And in every ending, the beautiful possibility of a brand new beginning. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that you are strong enough to weather any ending, and brave enough to embrace every new start. For it is in the dance between endings and beginnings that we truly come alive, that we grow, and that we discover the endless possibilities that life has to offer. Let the beauty of endings inspire you to live fully, love deeply, and approach each day with wonder and gratitude. For in the grand tapestry of life, endings are not the final thread, but the golden stitches that connect one beautiful moment to the next. Life has a way of teaching us its most profound lessons when we least expect them, and perhaps one of the hardest, yet most liberating truths we can learn is that we cannot control everything. It's a realization that often comes to us in moments of quiet reflection, or sometimes in the midst of life's most turbulent storms. We spend so much of our lives planning, hoping, and building. We chart our courses with careful precision, believing that if we just try hard enough, we can bend the world to our will. But life, in all its beautiful complexity, has its own rhythm, its own flow. And when we resist this fundamental truth, we create a world of suffering for ourselves. Think about it for a moment. How often have you found yourself clinging tightly to a person, a possession, or a moment in time? We grasp at these things as if our very grip could stop the relentless march of time. But life is like water, fluid and ever-changing. The tighter we clench our fists, the more it slips through our fingers, leaving us with nothing but the ache of loss. True peace, true freedom, begins when we learn to loosen our grip, when we allow life to move as it must, without our constant interference. It's in this letting go that we find a profound sense of relief, a weight lifted from our shoulders that we didn't even realize we were carrying. But make no mistake, letting go of control doesn't mean we're giving up on life or shirking our responsibilities. It's not about becoming passive observers in our own stories. No, it's about finding that delicate balance between effort and acceptance. It's about doing our best, putting in the work, and then having the wisdom to step back and allow things to unfold as they will. Imagine, if you will, a sailor out on the vast ocean. This sailor cannot control the wind or the waves. No amount of wishing or willing can change the direction of the breeze. But what the sailor can do is adjust the sails. They can work with the elements, not against them. And in doing so, they harness the power far greater than their own. In the same way, we cannot dictate the direction of life's storms. We can't control when they'll come or how fierce they'll be, but we can choose our response. We can adjust our sails, find our balance, and ride out the tempest with grace and resilience. And here's the beautiful thing: when we surrender to the current of life, when we stop fighting against its natural flow, we often find ourselves carried to places more wondrous than we ever could have imagined. Doors open that we never knew existed. Opportunities arise that we couldn't have planned for. We discover strengths within ourselves that we never knew we possessed. There's a freedom in this surrender, a lightness that comes when we release the heavy burden of trying to control every aspect of our lives. It's like taking a deep breath after holding it for far too long. Suddenly, the world seems brighter, more vibrant, full of possibilities we were too busy controlling to notice before. And in this letting go, we discover a quiet strength within ourselves. It's not the brash, forceful strength of trying to bend the world to our will. No, this is a deeper, more resilient strength. It's the strength of flexibility, of adaptability. It's the strength of a tree that bends with the wind rather than breaking against it. This strength allows us to face life's challenges with a new perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as things to be conquered or controlled, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth, for learning. We start to trust in our ability to navigate whatever comes our way, not because we can control it, but because we know we can adapt to it. Letting go of control also opens us up to the beauty of the present moment. When we're not constantly trying to manipulate the future or cling to the past, we become more aware of the here and now. We notice the small joys, the fleeting moments of beauty that we might have missed before. A sunset becomes not just a pretty sight, but a reminder of the constant change and renewal in the world around us. This shift in perspective can transform our relationships as well. When we release the need to control others, to mold them into what we think they should be, we create space for genuine connection. We allow people to be who they truly are, and in doing so, we often discover depths to them that we never knew existed. It's important to remember that letting go of control is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It's something we must choose again and again, in big moments and small. Some days it will feel easy, natural. Other days, it will be a struggle, and we'll find ourselves slipping back into old patterns of trying to control everything around us. But each time we consciously choose to let go, to trust in the flow of life, we grow stronger. We become more resilient, more adaptably. We learn to dance with life rather than wrestle with it. And as we practice this letting go, we might find that life becomes less of a battle and more of an adventure. We stop seeing challenges as problems to be solved and start seeing them as invitations to grow, to explore, to discover new aspects of ourselves and the world around us. In the end, letting go of control is about trust. Trust in ourselves, in our ability to adapt and thrive no matter what life throws our way. Trust in the inherent wisdom of life itself, in its ability to guide us towards growth and fulfillment, even when the path seems unclear. So today, I invite you to loosen your grip just a little, to take a deep breath and release the need to control every aspect of your life. Feel the freedom that comes with surrender. Embrace the adventure of the unknown, and trust that as you let go, you're opening yourself up to a world of possibilities you never knew existed. Remember, life is not a problem to be solved, but a journey to be experienced. And sometimes, the most beautiful destinations are the ones we never planned for. So adjust your sails, trust the wind, and let life carry you to places more amazing than you ever dared to dream. In the tapestry of life, there's a thread that weaves through every moment, every experience, every breath we take. It's the thread of impermanence, a truth so profound that when we truly grasp it, our entire world shifts. It's as if we've been given a pair of magical glasses, allowing us to see the extraordinary beauty in the ordinary. Imagine, for a moment, that you're sitting in your favorite chair, sipping a warm cup of coffee. The steam rises in delicate swirls, the aroma fills your nostrils, and the warmth seeps into your hands. Now, pause. Really pause. This moment, right here, right now, will never come again. The exact combination of sensations, thoughts, and feelings you're experiencing is unique to this very instant. When we truly understand impermanence, something magical happens. We begin to cherish the present moment more deeply. It's like a veil has been lifted, revealing the preciousness of each passing second. We no longer take for granted the smile of a loved one, the warmth of a meal, or the laughter of a friend. We realize that these things will not last forever. That is exactly what makes them precious. Think about the last time you hugged someone you care about. Did you rush through it, your mind already on the next task? Or did you sink into it, feeling the warmth of their embrace, the rhythm of their breath, the beating of their heart against yours? When we understand impermanence, we choose the latter. We choose to be fully present, to soak in every detail, because we know that this exact moment will never come again. Impermanence teaches us gratitude. Instead of waiting for grand milestones to feel joy, we learn to treasure the small, everyday gifts life offers us. The morning sunlight on our face, the sound of rain on the roof, the quiet peace of sitting with someone we care about, saying nothing at all. These moments, once overlooked, become sources of profound happiness. It's like walking through a garden that you've passed by 100 times before, but this time, you stop. You notice the intricate patterns on a butterfly's wings, the way the leaves dance in the breeze, the rich earthy scent of the soil. You realize that this garden, in this exact state, will never exist again. The flowers will bloom and wither, the seasons will change, and so will you. And in that realization, you find a deep appreciation for the here and now. When we know that everything is fleeting, we stop rushing through life as if we were racing to a finish line. Instead, we savor, we breathe, we listen more, we love more fully, we become more patient with ourselves and others, understanding that each interaction, each conversation, each shared laugh or tear is a unique gift that time will never replicate. Consider the last meal you enjoyed with friends or family. Did you gulp it down, distracted by your phone or thoughts of tomorrow? Or did you savor each bite, noticing the flavors, the textures, the way the food nourished your body? Did you look into the eyes of those around you, really seeing them, really listening to their words and laughter? When we embrace impermanence, we choose to make each meal a celebration, each conversation a treasure. Every moment becomes a once-in-a-lifetime experience because it will never return in the same way again. And so, rather than grieving its passing, we celebrate its presence while it is here. We learn to dance with time, to move gracefully with the ebb and flow of life, rather than fighting against it. Imagine holding a delicate soap bubble in your hand. You know it will pop, that its existence is fleeting. But does that make it any less beautiful? Does it make the rainbow swirls on its surface any less mesmerizing? No. In fact, it's the bubble's fragility that makes us appreciate it all the more. We hold our breath, we stay still, we drink in its beauty because we know it won't last forever. Life is like that bubble, fragile, fleeting, and infinitely beautiful. When we truly understand this, we stop wishing for a different moment. We stop living in the past or anxiously awaiting the future. We sink our roots deep into the now, drawing nourishment from each passing second. Cherishing the now is not about clinging, it's about honoring. It's about bowing to the beauty of life as it unfolds, knowing that each moment is a gift wrapped in impermanence. It's about holding our experiences lightly, with open hands and an open heart, allowing them to touch us deeply without trying to possess them. Think of a time when you watched a sunset, the sky ablaze with colors, each hue shifting and changing as the sun dipped below the horizon. Did you try to hold on to each shade, each cloud formation, or did you simply witness, allowing the beauty to wash over you, knowing that tomorrow's sunset would be entirely different? When we embrace impermanence, we learn to appreciate life's sunsets without trying to freeze them in time. In this understanding, even difficult moments take on a different quality. The pain of a heartbreak, the stress of a challenging situation, the discomfort of growth, we begin to see these too as fleeting experiences. We learn to say, "This too shall pass," not as a way of dismissing our feelings, but as a reminder that life is in constant flux. And in that flux lies hope, possibility, and the potential for change. Imagine walking along a beach, leaving footprints in the sand. With each step, you create a unique mark on the world. But as you look back, you see the waves gently erasing your trail. At first, this might seem sad, but then you realize it's this very impermanence that allows you to keep creating, to keep making new impressions with each step. If the sand held on to every footprint, there would be no room for new ones. Life is like that beach. Each moment is a footprint, a chance to leave our mark. And it's the washing away, the constant renewal, that gives us the freedom to keep creating, to keep experiencing, to keep growing. When we truly understand impermanence, we stop trying to hold on to things too tightly. We learn to love without possessing, to enjoy without clinging, to live fully without fear of loss. Because we understand that it's not the length of time we have something that matters, but the depth with which we appreciate it while it's here. So, as you move through your day, remember, this moment, right now, is unique. It will never come again. The person you're with, the place you're in, the thoughts in your mind, all of these are coming together in a once-in-a-lifetime constellation. Can you see the magic in that? Can you feel the preciousness of now? Let this understanding of impermanence be your teacher. Let it guide you to a deeper appreciation of life's simple joys. Let it remind you to hug a little longer, to laugh a little louder, to love a little more freely. Because in the end, it's not about holding on to moments forever. It's about living them fully while they're here. This is the gift of impermanence. It teaches us to cherish, to savor, to celebrate the now. It reminds us that life isn't something to be rushed through or taken for granted. It's a precious, fleeting gift to be opened with wonder, experienced with gratitude, and shared with love. So take a deep breath. Look around you. What can you cherish in this moment? What beauty can you find in the impermanence of now? For in this understanding lies the key to a life lived fully, a heart opened widely, and a spirit that dances joyfully with the ever-changing rhythms of existence. In the tapestry of life, there's a thread that weaves through every moment, every experience, every breath we take. It's the golden thread of impermanence, a reminder that nothing in this world lasts forever. And yet, it's this very impermanence that has the power to soften our hearts, to open our eyes, and to transform the way we move through this world. Imagine, for a moment, the last time you watched a sunset. The sky ablaze with colors, each hue more breathtaking than the last. But even as you stood there, marveling at its beauty, you knew it wouldn't last. The sun would dip below the horizon, the colors would fade, and night would fall. And in that knowledge, in that acceptance of the temporary nature of beauty, there's a bittersweet appreciation that makes the moment all the more precious. This is the gift of impermanence. It teaches us to cherish the good times, knowing they won't last forever. But it also comforts us in our darkest hours, reminding us that even our deepest sorrows will eventually pass. When we truly embrace this truth, it changes us. It softens the edges of our ego, melts away our defenses, and opens our hearts to a deeper, more compassionate way of being. Think about the people you encounter every day. The cashier at the grocery store, the colleague at work, the stranger on the bus. Each of them is navigating their own journey of change and loss, of joy and struggle. When we remember this, when we truly see the humanity in each person we meet, it becomes impossible not to treat them with kindness. A simple smile, a word of encouragement, a moment of patience when someone is struggling. These small acts of compassion ripple out into the world in ways we can't even imagine. Because time is short, my friends, our days on this earth are numbered. But the kindness we show to others, that lingers, it echoes, it lives on long after we're gone. Impermanence also teaches us the profound art of forgiveness. How many of us carry around old hurts, old grudges, like heavy stones in our pockets? We drag them with us day after day, letting them weigh us down, rob us of joy. But when we look at life through the lens of impermanence, we begin to see how futile this is. Why waste our precious fleeting days clinging to anger or resentment? Just as the seasons change, so do people. The person who hurt us yesterday may not be the same today. They may have grown, learned, changed, and even if they haven't, forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing ourselves from the burden of bitterness. When we forgive, we don't erase the past. we don't forget the hurt, but we choose to release its hold on us. We choose to move forward, unburdened, into the present moment. And in doing so, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new connections, new joy. This understanding of impermanence also shifts the way we see others. Instead of viewing people as obstacles or competitors, we begin to recognize them as fellow travelers on this fragile, fleeting journey we call life. We're all just passing through, aren't we? We're all temporary visitors on this beautiful, troubled planet. And when we truly internalize this truth, it changes everything. It opens our hearts to love more deeply, to care more openly, to give without expecting anything in return. Because we realize that in the grand scheme of things, we're all in this together. We're all facing the same ultimate destiny. So why not make the journey a little easier, a little kinder, for those around us? Compassion then becomes not just an occasional act, but a way of life. It becomes our default response to the world around us. When we see someone struggling, our first instinct is to help. When we encounter difference or disagreement, our first response is to seek understanding. When we witness suffering, our immediate reaction is to offer comfort. This doesn't mean we become doormats or martyrs. Compassion isn't about sacrificing ourselves for others. It's about recognizing our shared humanity, our shared vulnerability, and responding with kindness and empathy. It's about treating others the way we would want to be treated if we were in their shoes. And here's the beautiful thing. When we live this way, when we make compassion our guiding principle, we don't just make life better for others. We transform our own experience of the world. We find more joy, more connection, more meaning in our day-to-day lives. Think about it. When you extend kindness to someone else, doesn't it warm your own heart? When you forgive someone who has wronged you, don't you feel a weight lift from your own shoulders? When you offer comfort to someone in pain, don't you feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment? This is the paradox of compassion. The more we give, the more we receive. The more we open our hearts to others, the more our own hearts expand. The more we recognize the impermanence of life, the more deeply we're able to appreciate and savor each moment. So I challenge you, as you go about your day, to look for opportunities to practice compassion. It doesn't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can have the biggest impact. A genuine compliment to a coworker who's having a tough day, patience with a child who's struggling to learn something new, a listening ear for a friend who needs to talk. Remember, every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. They're dealing with changes, losses, and challenges that you can't see. So approach each interaction with gentleness and understanding. Assume the best of people. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And when you find yourself getting frustrated or angry, take a deep breath. Remember the impermanence of all things. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year, in 5 years, in 10? More often than not, the answer is no. So why not choose compassion instead? Living with compassion doesn't mean we'll never feel negative emotions. We're human, after all. We'll still get angry, still feel hurt, still experience frustration. But when we make compassion our default setting, these negative emotions lose their power over us. They become passing clouds in the sky of our consciousness, rather than storms that consume us. As we cultivate this compassionate way of living, we begin to see the world differently. We notice beauty in unexpected places. We find reasons to be grateful even in difficult circumstances. We discover connections with people we might have previously overlooked or dismissed. And perhaps most importantly, we create ripples of kindness that extend far beyond our immediate circle. Because compassion is contagious. When we treat others with kindness and understanding, it inspires them to do the same. And slowly but surely, we can create a more compassionate world. So let's embrace the truth of impermanence. Let's use it not as a source of fear or sadness, but as a catalyst for compassion. Let's recognize that our time here is limited and use that knowledge to fuel our kindness, our forgiveness, our love for one another. In the end, it's not about how long we live, but how we live. It's about the impact we have on the lives of others. It's about the legacy of kindness we leave behind. So let's make each moment count. Let's live with open hearts and open hands. Let's make compassion not just something we do, but who we are. Because in this ever-changing, impermanent world, compassion is the one thing that truly lasts. It's the light that guides us through dark times, the balm that heals our wounds, the force that connects us all. And it's available to each of us, in every moment, if we only choose to embrace it. So today, tomorrow, And every day after, let's choose compassion. Let's be kind to ourselves and to others. Let's forgive freely and love deeply. Let's honor this fleeting, precious life by making it a little gentler, a little more beautiful for everyone we meet along the way. Because in the end, that's what truly matters. That's what makes life worth living. That's what makes us human. As we reach the final chapter of our journey together, exploring the profound truth of impermanence, it's time to gather all we've discovered into one simple, yet powerful reminder. Life is a river. It never stands still, constantly flowing, carrying us through moments of joy and sorrow, love and loss. The beauty of impermanence lies in its ability to give meaning to every breath we take. We learn to hold joy gently, knowing it will pass, and to endure sorrow patiently, understanding that it too shall fade. Nothing stays the same, and that is precisely what makes life so precious, so worthy of our full attention and appreciation. In this ever-changing flow of existence, we find ourselves faced with a choice. We can resist the current, clinging desperately to what was or anxiously anticipating what might be, or we can choose to embrace the flow, to live fully in the present moment, savoring each experience as it comes. Imagine standing on the banks of a mighty river, watching as it rushes past. The water you see now will never be the same water again. It moves on, making way for new currents, new possibilities. Our lives are much the same. Each moment is unique, never to be repeated. And in recognizing this truth, we unlock a profound sense of freedom and purpose. So, what can we do with this knowledge? How can we live in harmony with the ever-changing nature of our existence? The answer lies in our choices. We can choose to live fully in the present, to immerse ourselves in the now, rather than dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. We can choose gratitude for what is here now, without clinging to yesterday or fearing tomorrow. We can choose to let go, to forgive, and to move forward with lightness in our hearts. Think of a time when you were fully present, perhaps watching a sunset, holding a loved one's hand, or simply taking a deep breath of fresh air. In those moments, time seems to stand still, yet, paradoxically, we're acutely aware of its passage. That's the magic of embracing impermanence. It heightens our senses, making us more alive to the beauty and wonder that surrounds us every day. And above all, we can choose love, to love deeply, to give freely, to live kindly, because we know that our time here, and the time of those around us, is limited. That awareness doesn't make life sad or diminish its value. On the contrary, it makes it infinitely more meaningful. It urges us to make the most of every interaction, to heal old wounds, to express our feelings before it's too late. Consider the relationships in your life. How might they change if you approached each one with the knowledge that it won't last forever? Would you be more patient, more understanding, more willing to forgive? Would you say "I love you" more often, or take the time to really listen when someone speaks? The wisdom of impermanence teaches us to cherish these connections, to nurture them while we can. It reminds us that every kind word, every gesture of compassion, ripples out into the world, creating waves of positivity that continue long after we're gone. As we navigate the ever-changing currents of life, we may sometimes feel overwhelmed, as if we're being swept away by forces beyond our control. But remember, just as a skilled kayaker learns to read the river, anticipating its twists and turns, we too can develop the wisdom to flow with life's changes. This doesn't mean we become passive, simply letting life happen to us. Rather, we learn to dance with uncertainty, to find our balance even as the ground shifts beneath our feet. We develop resilience, knowing that no storm lasts forever, and that even in the darkest times, there is always the possibility of light breaking through. Think of the times in your life when you faced significant changes, perhaps a move to a new city, the end of a relationship, or a shift in your career. While these transitions may have been challenging, they also likely brought new opportunities, new perspectives, and new growth. That's the gift of impermanence. It keeps us evolving, learning, and expanding our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. As you step away from this reflection, carry with you the wisdom of impermanence, that nothing is forever, but every moment matters. Let this understanding be a source of comfort and inspiration. When joy comes, savor it fully, knowing its transient nature makes it all the more precious. When sorrow visits, face it with courage, trusting that it too shall pass. In embracing this truth, may you find a peace that no storm can shake, and a joy that no ending can erase. May you walk through life with open hands and an open heart, ready to receive its gifts and equally ready to let them go when the time comes. Remember, you are part of this grand, ever-flowing river of life. Your presence here, in this moment, is a miracle, a unique convergence of countless factors that will never again be repeated in quite the same way. Honor that miracle by living fully, loving deeply, and leaving each place, each person, a little better than you found them. As we conclude our journey together, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on how this understanding of impermanence might change the way you live. What would you do differently if you truly embraced the fleeting nature of all things? How might you show up more fully in your relationships, your work, your passions? Perhaps you'll find yourself more willing to take risks, to pursue that dream you've been holding back on. Maybe you'll be inspired to mend fences with a loved one, knowing that the opportunity to do so won't last forever. Or perhaps you'll simply find a new appreciation for the small, everyday moments that make up the tapestry of your life. Whatever path you choose, know that by embracing the flow of life, you're aligning yourself with a fundamental truth of existence. You're choosing to live with awareness, with intention, and with a deep appreciation for the precious gift of each moment. So go forth with courage, with compassion, and with an open heart. Embrace the changes that come your way, knowing that they are the very essence of life itself. And in doing so, may you discover a depth of experience, a richness of emotion, and a sense of purpose that transforms your journey through this ever-changing world into something truly extraordinary.